I'll never forget the day I asked my daughter Emily about her wedding. It was one of those questions you toss out casually, expecting a simple answer, maybe a smile or a shrug. But her response? It turned my world upside down, unraveling everything I thought I knew about her, about us, about what it means to be a parent. I'm Michael, by the way, and this is my story. It was a warm Saturday afternoon in June, the kind where the sun hangs lazy in the sky and the air smells like fresh-cut grass and barbecue. Emily was home for the weekend, visiting from her apartment in the city. She's 27 now, my only kid, with her mother's bright green eyes and a laugh that could light up a room. She was sitting on the porch swing, scrolling through her phone, her bare feet tucked under her, when I stepped out with 2 iced teas. I handed her one, the glass sweating in my hand, and settled into the wicker chair across from her. "So," I said, trying to keep it light, "you and Ryan been talking about the big day yet? You know, wedding bells, white dress, all that jazz." I grinned, expecting her to roll her eyes or tease me about being old-fashioned. Emily and Ryan had been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and I figured they were deep in planning mode. I mean, that's what couples do, right? Pick venues, argue over guest lists, maybe bicker about whether to have a DJ or a band. But Emily didn't laugh. She didn't roll her eyes. She set her phone down on the swing, her fingers tightening around the glass, and looked at me with this strange, quiet intensity. "Dad," she said, her voice soft but steady, "I need to tell you something. About the wedding. About everything." My stomach did a little flip. Not the good kind, like when you're excited about a surprise. This was the kind that makes your palms sweat and your heart thud a little too fast. I leaned forward, setting my drink on the table. "Okay, kiddo," I said, keeping my tone even, though I could feel a prickle of unease creeping up my spine. "What's going on?" She took a deep breath, like she was steeling herself for a jump off a high dive. "There's not going to be a wedding," she said. "Not with Ryan, not ever. Maybe." I blinked, my brain scrambling to catch up. "What do you mean, no wedding? You guys are engaged. You've got the ring, the announcement, the whole deal. Did something happen? Did Ryan—" My voice caught, a mix of confusion and that protective dad instinct kicking in. "If that guy hurt her, I swear—" "No, Dad, it's not like that," she interrupted, her words quick, like she needed to get them out before she lost her nerve. "Ryan's great. He's perfect, actually. But I'm not. I'm not who you think I am. I'm not who I've been pretending to be." I just stared at her, my mouth half open, no words coming out. Pretending? What was she talking about? Emily was my daughter, my pride and joy. I knew her. I'd watched her grow up, from pigtails and soccer games to college graduation and her first big job in the city. She was smart, driven, kind. She was Emily. What could she possibly mean? She looked down at her hands, her fingers twisting together, and when she spoke again, her voice was quieter, almost fragile. "I've been lying to you, to Mom, to Ryan, to everyone, for years. And I can't keep doing it, not anymore. It's eating me alive." I felt like the ground was shifting under me, like the porch wasn't solid anymore. "Em," I said, my voice hoarse, "you're scaring me. Just tell me what's going on. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out, you know that, right?" She nodded, but her eyes were glassy, like she was fighting back tears. "I know, Dad. That's why I'm telling you now. Because I trust you. But this is big. And I don't know if you'll still look at me the same way after." My heart was pounding now, a dull roar in my ears. I wanted to reach out, pull her into a hug, tell her nothing could change how much I loved her. But something in her expression stopped me, a raw, vulnerable edge that made me hold my breath and wait. "I'm not straight," she said, the words spilling out like they'd been trapped inside her for years. "I'm gay. I've known since I was a teenager, maybe even before that. And I've been hiding it, pretending to be someone I'm not, because I was terrified of what it would mean. For me, for you, for Mom, for everything. The world went quiet. Not the kind of quiet where you hear birds chirping or the neighbor's lawnmower in the distance. This was a heavy, suffocating quiet, like the air had been sucked out of the porch. I didn't know what to say. My mind was racing, replaying her words, trying to make sense of them. Gay? My Emily? The girl who'd dated boys in high school, who'd been with Ryan for years, who'd smiled and nodded when we talked about her future wedding. It didn't compute. Say something, she whispered, her voice breaking. Please, Dad, say anything. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out at first. I was trying to process it, to find the right words, but all I could think was, how did I not know? How did I miss this? I'm her father. I'm supposed to know her better than anyone. I finally managed, my voice thick. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Her eyes filled with tears and one spilled over, tracing a slow path down her cheek. Because I was scared, she said. I grew up hearing things. Little comments, jokes, stuff at church, stuff from family. Not from you, not directly, but enough to make me think I had to hide. I thought if I told you, you'd be disappointed. Or worse, you wouldn't love me anymore. That hit me like a punch to the gut. Not love her? The idea was so absurd it almost made me angry, but not at her. At myself. Had I done something, said something, to make her think she couldn't trust me with this? I thought back to all the years, the conversations, the moments we'd shared. Had there been signs I'd missed? Times she'd tried to tell me and I'd been too clueless to notice? Emily, I said, leaning forward, my hands gripping my knees to keep them from shaking. There is nothing you could ever do or be that would make me stop loving you. You're my daughter, my kid. You're everything to me. She let out a shaky breath, like she'd been holding it for years, and the tears came faster now. I wanted to believe that, she said. I did. But it's hard, Dad. It's so hard to carry something like this, to feel like you're lying to everyone you love. I tried to make it work with Ryan. I thought maybe if I loved him enough, I could be normal. But I can't. I can't keep pretending. It's not fair to him, and it's killing me. I felt a lump in my throat, a mix of sadness and pride and something else I couldn't name. Sadness for the pain she'd been carrying alone. Pride for the courage it took to tell me. And something else, a kind of awe at her strength, at the woman she'd become even when I hadn't been paying close enough attention. What about Ryan? I asked, my voice gentle. Does he know? She nodded, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. I told him last week. He was amazing. Hurt, of course, but not angry. He said he just wants me to be happy, even if it's not with him. He's moving out this weekend. I pictured Ryan with his easy smile and his knack for making Emily laugh. I'd liked him, thought he was good for her. But now I saw it differently. Not that he wasn't good enough, but that she'd been trying to fit into a life that wasn't hers. I'm sorry, Em, I said. I'm sorry you felt like you had to hide this. From me, from anyone. She shook her head, a small, sad smile tugging at her lips. It's not your fault, Dad. It's just how it was, how I thought it had to be. But I'm done hiding. I want to live my truth, you know? I want to be me, even if it's messy, even if it's hard. I stood up then, crossing the porch in 2 steps and pulled her into a hug. She was trembling, or maybe that was me, but I held her tight like I used to when she was little and scared of thunderstorms. You don't have to do this alone, I said into her hair. I'm here. Your mom's here. We'll figure this out together. She hugged me back, her arms fierce around my waist, and for a moment, we just stood there, the world steadying itself again. But my mind was still spinning, trying to piece together what this meant. No wedding, no Ryan, a daughter who'd been carrying a secret so heavy it broke my heart to think about. And me, a father who'd thought he knew everything about his kid, realizing I'd missed something so big. The rest of that day is a blur. We talked for hours, sitting on that porch until the sun dipped below the trees and the fireflies started to flicker. She told me about the first time she realized she was different, back in high school, when she had a crush on her best friend Sarah. She told me about the fear that kept her quiet, the shame that crept in every time she heard someone make a careless comment about those people. She told me about the nights she'd lie awake, wondering if she could ever be herself and still be loved. I listened mostly. Sometimes I asked questions, clumsy ones, trying to understand. "So, are you dating anyone now?" I asked at one point, and she laughed. A real laugh, the kind I hadn't heard all day. "Not yet," she said, her eyes crinkling. "But I'm open to it. For the first time, I feel like I can be." That night, after she'd gone to bed, I sat up in the living room, staring at the old family photos on the mantel. Emily as a baby, grinning toothless in my arms. Emily at her first dance recital, all tulle and giggles. Emily at her college graduation, her cap tilted at a jaunty angle. I'd always thought I knew her story, every chapter, every page. But now I saw there were pages she'd kept hidden, not because she didn't trust me, but because she was protecting herself. And maybe protecting me too, from a truth she wasn't sure I could handle. The next morning, I called my wife, Linda, who was visiting her sister in Florida. I told her everything, my voice cracking as I tried to explain. Linda was quiet for a long time, and then she said, "Michael, we love her. That's all that matters. We'll figure out the rest when I get home." And we did. Over the next few weeks, we had more conversations, some easy, some hard. Emily told her mom herself, and I watched as Linda hugged her, tears in her eyes, saying the same thing I had. "You're our daughter. Nothing changes that." We met Sarah, Emily's old high school friend, who was more than just a friend now, though Emily was shy about calling it anything official. Sarah was warm and funny, with a quick wit that matched Emily's, and I could see the way my daughter's face lit up around her, a lightness I hadn't seen in too long. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were moments of doubt, for me at least. I'd lie awake some nights wondering if I'd failed her somehow, if I could have done something differently to make her feel safe sooner. I worried about what other people would say. Family, friends, folks at church. I'm not proud of it, but those thoughts crept in uninvited. And then I'd look at Emily, at the way she was starting to carry herself with this new confidence, like she was finally stepping into her own skin. And I'd think, to hell with what anyone else thinks. This is my kid. And she's happy. The hardest part, maybe, was letting go of the future I'd pictured for her. The wedding, the white dress, the grandkids I'd imagined. It's not that those things are gone. Emily might still want a wedding someday, maybe with Sarah, maybe with someone else. She might want kids. But it's not about my vision anymore. It's about hers. And I'm learning to be okay with that, to trust that she knows what she wants, what she needs. Looking back, that conversation on the porch changed everything. It broke my heart, sure, but it also rebuilt it, stronger, wider, ready to hold more than I thought it could. I asked my daughter about her wedding, expecting a simple answer about dates and dresses. Instead, I got the truth, a truth that was hard and raw and beautiful. Emily's not hiding anymore. She's living her life, her way, and I'm so damn proud of her for it. As for me, I'm still learning, still figuring out how to be the dad she needs, the dad who listens, who doesn't assume he's got it all figured out. And maybe that's the real story here. Not the wedding that won't happen, but the love that's still here, stronger than ever, between a father and his daughter, no matter what.